Good evening, everybody. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. I'm CmdrAleon. It's about 11:18 p.m. on the East Coast. Lighter boy, welcome to the show. Jenny, Brown, everybody coming in here. Welcome to our show. And let's see here. We're just going to turn that thing off for a minute. So we have some breaking news. We have some top secret information. We have some great information that was sent to me by my Department of Defense contact earlier today. Some photos that are going to blow you away. And when we get into the show tonight, we're starting to present photos from our DoD contact on disclosure. We have photos that the news media doesn't even have. These two photos you're going to see are the same. One is a more close-up of what we're going to show you tonight. I'm going to show it on a bigger screen, and you'll be able to see it tonight. So we're going to show you, you're going to want to be here to see this because it's going to blow your mind. We kind of talked about it on the other night with Shai, our DoD contact. I've been in communications with her privately, and I have the photos. And when we show you them, when we get into the show tonight, that'll be the first thing we're going to get into. And I welcome everybody here. Please share and like. People are not going to miss this thing whatsoever. This show is about disclosure. We're about breaking of the matrix. My mission here is to disclose everything regarding non-terrestrial activity, which the DoD, there are many in the DoD who are not telling the people the truth, but our contact is part of the whistleblower group. And we're going to show you a photo tonight that's going to really wake you up. So all the theories about the moon, whether we've been there or not been there, this is going to clear up some information. We forget about NASA, completely forget about NASA because they're lying through their teeth, But we're going to give you information on this photo when you see it, and you're not going to want to miss this because when I do a show, there's information always, whether it's in discussions with people on our show, whatever it might be. Always remember, we are disclosure. And we're going to get into it. We're going to really get into it. So I'm going to wait till we get to about 100 people here, over 100, and then I'll share the photo. Okay? And I'm telling you, you won't have seen this photo before. I just shared it earlier today. Grace, good to see you. I just shared it on Facebook earlier today when I got the photo. I posted it on Facebook, made one post there. I just put it on to my YouTube channel, and that's where I'm going to show it to you because I have the big screen. So I'll be showing it on my YouTube channel through here, and I'll let you see it here. Marinette, welcome to the show. We're just getting started. Please share and like. And I know I've got over 53,000 followers. If we can get half of those people in here, I don't know how you would get 50,000 followers in here, but I want to get as many people here as possible. Welder, good to see you. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the gifting already. I appreciate that. And we're going to get into it, And we're going to get down the rabbit hole. Can't do this without my co-host on board.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Encounters with CmdrAleon.
Hey, good evening, co-host James. How you doing, man?
Hello, I am out of the rabbit hole.
Well, I just was in conversation with Shai earlier today, and she sent me those top secret photos of the moon that I'm going to show tonight.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah, they are awesome. People are going to be blown away. If anyone's not watching this show tonight, you're going to be missing something very important. I want to just preface this by saying something. We are disclosure. This show is about true disclosure. We're serious about what we're doing here. We might kid around once in a while because you have to have some levity, with all the crazy stuff going on with this. But, James and I and what we're doing here is serious. We're here because people need to know the truth. They're not going to get it on CNN. When CNN or NBC does a blitz or Fox does a thing on UFOs, they don't even have the information we have. They don't even have the contacts we have.
They don't even know.
They don't even know. That's right. They don't even know. you know? So let's get down and serious here. My mission has always been disclosure. That's how James and I met. Like when James wasn't at 1,000, there was something about James. I said, I haven't seen him yet or met him yet, but we've got a synergy of energy that we both want this disclosure.
Oh, yes.
And, and we do. And then Shy was monitoring our show months ago before she came on live. She never went on live. And ever since she's been on our show, it's been like a synergy of all three of us together where she goes out. Now, there was a sighting the other day, a friend of mine in Corpus Christi, Texas. All right. And I mentioned it a bit. Thank you so much, Anchor, for the choral. Wow. That's amazing.
Oh, beautiful.
He documented a sighting. He wasn't going to go public with it. He went on Facebook because that's where he operates, on Facebook. And there were between 800 and over 1,000 UAPs going from, and it was 8:12 in the evening. This is about 2 nights ago in Corpus Christi, Texas. Other people saw it too, and he was going to tape it, but he wasn't sure what to do, whether it was real or not. These objects, these UAPs, went out over the Gulf Coast where he's near, going towards Africa. I don't know how he knew they were going towards Africa, the African coast to the Atlantic, but they were going in that trajectory. And I talked a little bit about this the other day. And so I contacted our contact, and she's checking in to see if their people on her side of it tracked anything from Corpus Christi 2 nights ago, about 8:12 p.m. Hundreds of these UAPs, going towards the Gulf Coast, towards Africa, and this is true stuff, people. I'm sharing information with you right now, and this person I know would never lie. Him and his wife are, he's been involved in this stuff for a long time, and he shared it on Facebook with a whole bunch of people, and got it out there. I talked to him privately, and I said, I need to get this information out there. And so I'm giving you information now. Things are getting kind of interesting, the information about a few weeks ago, and James and I were on here when I'm Shy, where UAPs are going 2.3 seconds per base. Also over New York City, 2.3 seconds. Diamond-shaped craft going over Tokyo, over Russia. If you don't think something is going on here, and I'm talking off-planet, galactically speaking, then you need to wake up, because something is starting to advance a lot quicker than we thought. Things are starting to amp up a lot quicker off-planet than we thought.
I
Carry
believe
on. Thank
so.
you for the donuts. Things are really happening. And James, I want to get your perspective on this. How do you feel? Do you feel that something imminent is, I might say imminent, I don't mean tomorrow, but something really, truly is changing?
I think that what we're seeing with all of these sightings is just amazing. What I want to really get to the bottom of, what like all of these sightings that are really coming out, but there's one of this a craft or a being that looks like a man in a rocket ship. You've seen this one, correct?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
But now it's happening all over. It was seen in Greece. It was seen in Hong Kong. It was seen in Africa, America. I'm seeing videos from it from all over.
yeah,
And I would love to know if it's human based or extraterrestrial based. But
yeah,
the disclosure is coming, and if it's not gonna happen. Like you said, it's not gonna happen tomorrow. I mean, but it could happen tomorrow. Who knows? I
yeah.
think
And
we're
Rachel
in.
Williams,
I think we're at that moment where, like you said, it could happen tomorrow or it can happen
right.
in 2 years.
Yeah, Rachel Williams says, I'm open to it in BC. Eventually in BC, you'll see it. Everybody will see it. This is only the beginning, folks. So it really is an exciting time to be alive. And I would also say, Rachel, if you have the C5 app, download it. If you don't have it, download it for $10 and read the information, the introduction, the protocols and everything. Everybody here should do that. I'll always keep mentioning C5 because you are the folks that are going to bring about advancements of this contact. And if everybody's making contact with our space brothers and sisters, inviting them here, they're going to get the message big time that there are a lot of people on Earth that are tired of being lied to. We're ready for contact. We're ready for this to occur. And, you know, it's got to happen. It's just not a wishful thinking. It's not a hope. It's not a dream. It's a reality. It's a reality. And it's going to happen, and it has to happen because we've been lied to for 70 years and they've had it. Our space brothers and sisters, they don't get angry. They just have had it with the secrecies and the lies of the people in power on this planet, lying to people on Earth. They've had it. I've had it. Haven't you?
I've had it
Really?
since birth.
Yeah. You know, we came here, whether you realize it or not. Some of us remember we came here on a direct mission. I know I do. I'm sure James does. We've got a mission, and it's called Cosmic Truth. Cosmic Truth is when you don't lie to anybody, when you tell people the truth, and you don't hide secrets from the public on Earth. So the secrets that each government is hiding, whether it be in England, in China, in Russia, they're hiding secrets from their own population about the ETs, about the space people, you know? And there are people in all these countries that are ufologists in Russia. There are people in Russia that are for disclosure. You know, we don't hear from our brothers and sisters in other countries what they think. But I'm sure there are people there too that have been lied to, you know, just like every other country being
Oh,
lied to.
definitely.
It's without a question, you know,
There's
and
there's so
it's got to
many
stop.
there's and we're getting so many new people joining the show, and it's really good to to have all of these new people experiencing disclosure and maybe just hearing a little bit of their own truth. Look at this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. This
Did he
guy
get a
right
new
here,
did he get a
this
new
famous
account?
guy. I haven't, I think he
Oh no, I
was
just changed my
taken on
name.
a ship. I think he was taken on a ship for a while. We haven't seen this guy for a while. I'm pretty
You
sure.
have no idea.
I don't have any idea, but I sense something big.
Yeah, um, it's amazing because once we start to learn about things being in alignment with certain teachings, like my chief teaching us about because it was always about raising the frequency, right?
Hmm.
And I had mentioned this before about there's a man, his name is Arthur Cushman. Dr. Arthur Cushman, he's a historian. So what he was talking about was the mounds in Ohio.
Hmm.
And I was watching Gaia TV, and there was a guy doing a documentary, and he was talking about the mounds, but he was talking about the sequence of the mounds and how they were formed, and how
Mm.
the government emulated these forms in certain areas near government buildings. So they knew there was
Really?
there was something powerful about these. Yeah, and this guy was so he learned everything from Dr. Cushman's work, and then saw the parallels between
Wow.
these buildings, these modern buildings, and the old ancient burial, or they call them burial mounds, but they're not.
They're not burial mound.
Uh, well, that's just a side note. Now this is what's exciting about what I was just talking to a woman today, and it hit me. It just hit me like a ton of bricks because we keep talking about CE5 and the way that it's explained how it works is you have to raise your vibration. Now this is going to make sense to everybody, right? Yeah, oh, Superman, yes. We go to the Superman events, 2-3 times a year. Thomas and Terry, Terry Rivera and Thomas
Hmm.
Johnson run the
Yeah.
Superman events there. So
Wow.
just to mention that, so if you look for the Superman events on Facebook if you want to go to those events. We're here in South Dakota doing the Star Knowledge events. So going back to what I was saying, that was the path of like learning about why all these people were talking about raising your vibration and why it was so important and so on and so. Now this is why. Okay,
Hmm.
the Earth's frequency, the Schumann resonance is what 5.83 hertz.
Yeah.
Well, so was the human frequency. Right? That is our
Hmm.
base frequency. So when we're talking about raising our vibration, we usually do it through our emotions. That's how we emote, and we're able to express higher vibration. It's through our emotions and our reactions to those emotions, and so on and so forth. So he's back. Um, so here's the thing. Now here's the parallels with what we're talking about with government and with the
Right.
spiritual community and with spiritual science connection is if we want to experience these beings that are in higher vibration, we have to raise our vibration ourselves.
Right.
We don't need
Absolutely true.
anybody's permission.
Right.
We don't need going back to Cushman, because Cushman told me a story because he's just a historian. He's not a spiritual guy into all this spiritual stuff. But he told me a story about when he was with my chief that passed, and these guys went into lodge, and he's too crippled to go into to crawl into a lodge.
Yeah.
So Cushman went back to his truck to go get a pack of cigarettes so he could smoke, and he walks very slow. He could barely walk. And when he went to his truck and then turned around and looked, there were two beings, two extraterrestrial beings. If you recall, I told you this before,
Yeah.
crawling into the sweat lodge.
Yeah.
Now he sat at the truck. He couldn't believe what he saw. He was just like, wow, like seeing this happen. But the stories that I've heard from so many different people, the very first star knowledge was held here in a small town called Wagner. And what
Hmm.
Chief did was he went outside and gathered everyone outside. And he said, "This is what I'm talking about when you raise your vibration." And he went out there and he took a drum and he started singing and he was banging away on this drum. And a circle cloud formed over the building. They have a picture of it.
Really?
Yeah. So Nikki showed me that picture before, and I was like, well, how was that possible? And then also, Alan and Linda, the first time
Yeah.
they do our sweats for us. The first
Yeah.
time they had an experience with him, there was no clouds in the sky. There was no clouds in the sky, and Chief started banging on a drum, and he was singing out loud, and it started raining.
Wow.
It was a very light rain, but it was raining, and there was no clouds in the sky.
That's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy.
But what I'm saying is that what he did, most people would look and go, wow, that man is very powerful. They discount that all he's ever shown us and all he's ever shown me was how powerful we are. And that
That
was
we
the
are
whole point.
individually powerful. Yeah. We
Absolutely,
are.
absolutely. The government and the problem with our governments and their perspective and their vibration is that they live in a fear-based vibration. So anything that seems like a threat, it comes from that vibration. So that's how they perceive it, and that's how they're gonna. It's um, I was telling this lady earlier. I said one of the most scariest things about being a spiritual person is seeing some of those things. Like the first time you ever see you see fairies and you see pixie wings and they're all pretty. No, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Some of them are good. They're pleasant to the eye, and some are not. Some are
Yeah.
very, very, and even description in Ireland lore that
Yeah.
they're kind of demonic looking.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I want to say something as you're speaking. Earlier tonight, we're sitting, my wife, my daughter, and myself. I didn't see it, but my wife said she was looking. Said, "Did you see that?" I said, "Did I see what?" There was a large orb behind me. Anything that
Mhm.
appears in our house is positive. The
Mhm.
energy vibrations here are very, very high.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know I was being visited, but she saw it, and she'll see things that sometimes I don't notice. I'm facing this. I'm facing towards you. This thing's be right behind me for a split moment. Now I was said, "Did you see that? What did it look like?" She said it was a white orb, a large white orb, and that was just confirmation, you know. They're with me all the time, you know what I mean?
Of course,
So
of
when you
course.
said that, it just sparked that memory just from earlier tonight.
Do you
So
know
that's
what
pretty
those are?
cool.
You know what those orbs are?
No.
They're
Well, I
us.
do.
Well, yeah, it's us unembodied. It's that's what we look like when we don't have this dirt, clay,
You mean
crystal,
our beautiful
water
faces
thing.
and bodies?
Yeah, there's the Native Americans here. They hold a thing called Uwipi, right?
Hmm.
And a Uwipi, you go in, right, and it's pitch black.
Hmm.
I think I told you they bound the guy's hands like this, and then they wrap his body,
Hmm.
whoever the chief is that's doing the UFP, and then they wrap him in a buffalo hide, all tied up like this, even his
Hmm.
fingers bound together, and they wrap that in rope and tie him up in that, and then while he's standing up, and then they lay him down flat on his face,
Wow.
and so while they're
Speaking,
doing this, all the lights are off, and they're just singing, and then you start to see all the white lights.
yeah,
They don't light
interesting.
up the room. They're just there. And and everybody that I've talked to that's experienced them, they've all seen them.
Yeah,
And you'll hear them when they come and talk to you, and they'll touch you. Uh, and it'll be like your relatives that have passed. You know,
yeah,
and you'll go, oh my God, that was my grandma. I just heard my grandma just speak into my ear, and they're just like, what's going on? And it's because most people aren't used to having those types of experiences.
yeah,
And now
yeah.
that's the whole
Interesting.
thing about the elves. When I say the elves, because most people call them angels, and I go, well, no, they're elves. They're the elves. The Pleiadians, we call it, some of the Pleiadian species are elves, angels. So
Hmm.
they're beings of light, right? They're unembodied. There are
Mm,
Pleiadians that do have bodies, but there are some that do
there
not.
are. Yeah, there
Yeah,
are Pleiadians that have bodies. I
yeah.
mean, Billy Meyer met Pleiadians of light that had bodies. Met two women that were sisters from the Pleiades area in that area region. They visited. There was many stories about him, and I met some people that met Billy Myers back in my early days on the journeys I was on, and they sent me photos of the two women that they're like they took pictures of them on their ship, and they took the pictures, but the pictures showed them like a vibrational pattern, a frequency, like hard to explain it. But they both the women played, and you could see in their faces, and because of the frequency of the ship, taking a picture made it look kind of weird, different, because it's not at the same frequency of the camera, but the camera picked it up, and the person in California sent me the photos. This is really a long time ago. I still have them. I saved them because I want people to know that these two men are real. They're Palladians, and they're Palladian women, and they used to visit Billy Meyer, who was a poor farmer. People know the story for many years, and people would come in there. Some people you wouldn't even know who's coming there from the stories. People probably implanted disinformation stuff. There were people trying to say he wasn't who he was. That's what disinformation campaigns are. You make people look foolish. You pull a farmer, and one arm. How could this be possible? So they did everything to discredit this person, but he was telling the truth,
Mhm.
and that's the thing. Speaking of truth, you came on at the right time. Tonight, folks, I'm going to disclose top secret information on the show. I'm going to disclose something that nobody knows except the people who are hiding the truth in the Department of Defense. And this photo that you're going to see was a photo from the Department of Defense that was top secret. This photo you're going to see, I have it lined up right now. So you better get people in here. I don't want to do this with a small group. I want to get as many people in here for this. So that's why I'm waiting. We have 118 people. I want to get a couple hundred people in here to see this. Then you can disseminate this information. This information is really important because we've been lied to about the moon. NASA has nothing to do with this photo. NASA are a bunch of liars themselves. We all know that. And you know me, I say it the way it is ever since before I was on TikTok. I say it on Facebook. I say it on my radio show on NPR radio. I don't care. I tell you the truth. That's the only thing I can do. Okay. So I want to get more people in here so I can show this photo because I want more people to see it, not because, people say, why don't you show the photo? There's a reason why I haven't shown it yet. I want to get more people in here. We have 128. Let's get up to 150, 200. And I'm going to show this photo. So I'm not trying to tease anybody, but it's for disclosure purposes. I want people to bring other people in here. Can we do that? Can we all make a collective effort to get 10 other people in here that we know that should see this? 5 other
Yeah.
people that we know that should see this. And if we all
Sure.
do that, FYP it, let's get people in here right now, folks, because this is going to be the first of many photos from my Department of Defense contact that you're not going to see on the major news networks because they're controlled by people that don't want you to know the truth. We all know that, Wisdom Keeper knows that. I know that. We're the ones who are going to bring forth the truth in what we're doing, not the people in high places. Thank goodness we have a contact who has high security clearance that chose to have all the media found us, because that's the way things work. The universe provides you with people that are connecting with each other, and there are people in the DoD that are tired of the lies. They're tired of the old people who are still alive controlling for 70 years all the information and all the knowledge that they know about our space brothers and sisters. They're tired of it. I'm frankly been tired of it for years. I know Wisdom Keeper, I'm sure, has been tired of it. And when I start speaking like this, there's a reason, because I interview people, but I also have a message myself, which is we're here. I'm from another planet. I'm in physical form here. I came here to bust up everything, to break it down. And, I'm not here to play games with the people that run military operations, the CIA, the NASA, naval intelligence. I don't care how powerful they think they are. We have more power than they do. That's what they're afraid of. We, the people of Earth, have more power than those people that think they have power with all their security clearances and with all their top level badges. It's meaningless. It means nothing, right? And if you're afraid of them, don't be. I'm not. What are they going to do? Nothing.
No.
They're afraid of me. I know they are, because I've been doing this stuff for a while. I'm sure I've been monitored. You think I care? I don't care. Nothing to be afraid of. I'm
No.
excited. I'm energized. I'm ready. I'm ready to bring our space people here on Earth. I'm ready to hug them and say,
Nothing
I
can
love
stop
you.
it. Nothing can
Nothing can
stop it.
stop it.
It's
Nothing.
not it's a force of nature. It's not even we're a part of something greater, and that's all there is to it. We're just becoming awake to what really is, not what. And and I can't say that I sympathize whatsoever with those people, but I always say that I love everyone. I love everyone.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of the things that people do, but I love everyone. I mean, because
Yeah.
I know that this is just people are so we go into the spiritual talks and we say ego, and I'm like, that ego thing is just it's a really weird thing, because I want to. Okay, this is what I want to ask right now, because this is a very curious thing, because this is going to come up in my talk uh, next month at the Star Knowledge
Yeah.
Conference. Is I mentioned that we're at the Schumann resonance, where that our frequency matches that of Earth, right? That of Gaia,
Hmm.
or whatever you want to call her, our
Right.
our mother, our planetary mother here. Um, Because I've seen a couple of videos. I've even read books. Barbara Ann Brennan, she's got an institute, a healing institute in Florida, and she talks about things that people see with just their eyes. And
Hmm.
if any of you have ever noticed, when you look into a clear blue sky, and you can see, it looks like things swimming around. It looks like things swimming around in your eyes, like just these little clear things. And almost like when you start to pass out a little bit and you start to see like the stars, but you see these little things swimming around, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, she said yes, and yes. Also, besides just well, yeah, we call them floaters, but if everybody's agreeing to that, they can't just be some little floating things in our eyes.
Right.
Also, when we have artificial light in the room, does does it seem kind of fuzzy, like the old television sets? Remember when you had to move the antennas to get the clear picture? Do you guys see that fuzziness? Do you see any of that kind of fuzz that they would, what was they called? White noise or pink noise or,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, yeah. But you can see that fuzzy, that little bit of fuzzy. It's like just looking right now, I can see it. I can see a little bit of fuzzy. I can't really describe it except for that. Yeah, it almost looks like static.
Yeah.
That that literally is the 5.83 hertz range of the Earth that we are able to experience, and we're seeing that. Oh, a little bit of fuzziness. We're as humans, we're not quite there yet in the galactic, right? Not
Right.
in the galactic. We're not seeing clearly yet because of where we are in the galaxy, because where we are around the spiral arm of the Milky Way, right? We're still
Wow.
behind the galactic cloud, which
Yeah.
is causing that interference. That's why we're not evolved yet. We have about 1,000 years, about 2,000 years to be completely clear of all of that static.
But the good news is we're still going to have contact way before that happens. So that's
That
good.
absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely
We're
true.
we're we're babies right now. We're coming out of an
Really, basically,
infancy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, speaking of babies, I want to show people. James, go
It's
ahead. I'm going to
time.
get I've got the. Go ahead, James. I
It's
got the
time.
picture ready. Yep.
No,
I'm
it's
going to
time.
do
It's
some
time to show the
voiceover.
video.
This is the top secret. Let me give me a moment to do this here. I've got to adjust the camera so I can go back to regular stuff here. Hold on a minute. We're going to go into regular. Here we go. I'm going to switch me. You're seeing me. Let me just do this here. I'm going to change it over. Okay, folks, you got to give me a moment here to get this really close up.
Huh? He's got his
I've got
pumpkin
everything
set
set.
up.
And I'm going to turn the light off. And now you're going to see top secret footage, a photo from Mars. They're called LBOs. An LBO is a lunar base operational. There's 4 or 5 bases in this picture. 3 or 4 of them are operational. We have people on those bases from Earth. They're from the area. I'll say DOD is in charge of this sector of it, and these people were sent there. How do you think they got there? How, folks, do you think they got there? They got there on a spaceship, not NASA craft, top secret. We're going to show it to you right now. Let me give me a second here.
That's a picture from Antarctica.
That's not the one I want to. Wait a minute, how'd that happen? Give me a second. I got to go back.
Oh, look, they're
I'm
already
just
messing with his technology.
no, not really. Here it is. We're going to go into it right now.
Ricky, yes. Yes, I have felt it, especially in the last couple
Yeah,
days.
let me show you this here. We're going to get closer. Right there, you can see it. You see the structures there? Right below it. I
Mhm.
can't zoom it in, but let me just go backwards here. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to try to get up close. I might have to move the camera here to do it. Let me just see here. Hold on. I'm taking my tripod here out of the picture, and we're going to show it to you right now. I'm going to go right in. See that? Those are the bases on the moon. That's our bases on the moon. This is top secret photo information. These are lunar base operational structures. Lunar base operational structures. I'm going to keep it up here. Go back.
Yeah, guys, go on. When you're done watching the show, go on to the YouTube and go on to the TikTok and get a real good view of the picture. So what the picture is, guys, we were able to get Shy to get a hold of some pictures of these bases. Now, if you guys know, remember, she's now working with the new department. She's dual enrolled, so she's DOD and Raytheon now. So part of that access now, she's meeting new people, including people that are, trying to push disclosure.
Right.
So the picture is that it's one of, you just showed one of the bases, correct, Commander?
Right. Well, actually, that one area
It's a small
has
cluster.
one of a cluster of bases. There are about four
Yeah.
or five. What Shai shared with me secretly is that one of the bases is not operational yet. The other bases have humans from Earth on the base. They were taken there in a secret ship operation unrelated to NASA. NASA's not even involved with this. This goes way beyond NASA, this photo. They have space people from Earth on those bases. They have everything they need in those lunar operational bases. All right. Now, when NASA lies and tells you we hope to go back to the moon and do this and do that, they've been lying through their teeth just
Mm.
as much as the DoD for over 70 years, folks.
Yeah.
And my show is about telling you the truth, as James knows. Whoops, as
Somebody in
James
the
knows.
chat says not a good idea to mention that she switched teams or specifics. Guys, she works in a department with like 20,000 people. You
Right,
know,
20,000. So,
and they're
and let me tell you something.
contracted out. And don't
Right,
worry, they're already watching us.
they're
She's
watching
good.
us.
She's good, and we're free. Anything she gives to us, me or Commander privately, and she tells us we could share,
Right.
we're able to.
Yeah, and it's all top secret information. Everyone says they want to get the truth, and then they said, well, maybe should not do that. Well, if we don't do it, then you're never going to get the truth. And when we're getting the truth, you should be like saying, wow, this is really good. We're finally getting the truth. Don't worry about Shy. Shy's well protected. I'm well protected. James is well protected. I'm not even worried about it. She's okay.
Oh
She's
yeah,
doing
she's
fine.
fine. Me and her were just talking today about what we were gonna dress up as for Halloween.
Yeah,
She's good.
she's good. So, I would spend more time focusing on getting ready for contact in the next few years with our space brothers, because I'm Shy is well protected,
Mm.
and this show is well protected. Even
Guys,
my space people from the command.
she's seeing stuff now that is just mind blowing. We're
Yeah.
talking
Yep.
portal technology, teleporting
Hmm.
technology, hover technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
One
hey,
of
go
the
ahead,
things that
Wisdom. I know you're listening intently.
there's always for me, I'm a I've been a truth seeker for, I mean, probably most of my life, but
Mhm.
one of the things that I really I started discovering was why, I used to give talks on Facebook about the importance of the higher vibration. Uh, the importance of it is, the longevity of life. It sustains your body for much longer, right?
Mhm.
Also, your but even beyond that, what is so important about it? Now, I've met maybe two people, and I don't want to mention their names on here, but
Yeah.
they never said that they have been on a craft, but I know that they have. And
Yeah.
I had read before, there are very few humans that their body, their uh physically, they cannot, most people cannot sustain long-term space travel.
Mm.
Um, Not even so, even going to like to Mars and stuff, uh, people would die if they don't understand the importance of their frequency,
Right.
right? Um, but I feel that I know two people that have been on um, other star people's crafts, and they've
Yeah.
made it and come
Spaceship.
back.
Yeah.
So we have to start to understand like the importance of these things. So for a lot of us that are starting to learn about the
Oh.
CE5 and wanting to be a part of this thing, when we talk about raising our vibration, it's not always about happiness and love and all that stuff. Those things are those things point us in the right direction. They point, because we that's what we need to do, is we need to be um, We need to raise ourselves, and that comes with a level of confidence and
Right.
all those things that make you feel that make you feel good. That's a resonance change, right?
Yeah.
And I'll break it down to you very simply. Like I'm sitting here with a diamond tester in front of me, right? This diamond tester tests diamonds.
Yeah.
What does it test? It tests frequency. How does it do it? Through an electric current. It does it through your frequency where you have to touch this and then touch the diamond and then it'll give you a measurement. So your frequency plus the voltage and then touching a diamond gives you a true reading for a diamond. But a diamond, most people when they say, well, that's a crystal, right? It is a crystal, but
Right.
what is the crystal? The crystals are formed through water, right? If you've ever looked and seen the crystals in a cave, they're formed from a slow drip,
Yeah.
and other elements as well mixed together. So and then they start to form certain types of crystals. Well, all crystals hold a frequency. That's how you
Mm.
get with your frequency, you get a true test for a diamond, right? Right. Water does have memory. That's how this becomes, because all of this is filled with water, which we call blood,
Right.
which has uh, dirt, fibers, proteins from the earth, plus water and crystals to create a blood cell,
Right.
right? And all of that
Very true.
has a certain frequency, a certain vibration. Is this making sense to you guys? Now, if we are at the same frequency as the planet, and we are, that means that means all we have to do is raise our vibration just enough to make water clean, or to put our hands on the water, raise your vibration, raise the vibration of the water, drink it, and it makes your body even healthier, right? That's all
Yeah.
we have to do. So when it comes to cleaning the air, cleaning the water, do whatever we need to do, or even just to sustain ourselves and from getting sick and all that stuff, we have to learn to raise that vibration and keep it, to raise and
Yeah.
sustain those frequencies.
Yeah, that's really the key thing, right? If
Absolutely.
people just would raise their vibration, and that's one of the things we teach on this show. Besides talking about people's sightings, encounters, and we've tons of people had visitations with space people on the show since I started this thing. And it's just amazing to see that happen. Is that if people focus? I was telling one person today, I did a morning show. I said, and the first time he came on, they had this thing in 2011 happen. They had a sighting of these red triangular ship. They were red glowing craft. I said, and I was reading their energy. And you know me enough to know, if you watch my show, I do read people's energy from their stories. I get information. And even James's eyes opening up like that. I read his story. He used to be a clown in a past life. I'm just kidding, James. He knows that. But
I'm a clown right
he
now in
likes
this
to clown
life.
around. He can't help it. That clown energy just wants to come right out. But in terms of this person, they were a little bit nervous. They came on. They were confused because people told them different things. I said, that's the thing. When people tell you different things, your consciousness gets confused because they're telling you their perception of reality. Thank you, UFO Mania. They're telling you their perception of reality. The thing is to get in touch with yourself. Many people don't do that, right? What they do is they listen to everything on the internet, this person, that person. They see a vision on YouTube. Someone shows ugly ETs coming to attack a village, and they believe it's true. So now their consciousness is clobbered with all this garbage that they don't even know who they are anymore. So
Mhm.
what I was teaching this person, and they're going to do it, is that I even got information that the beings on these triangular glowing red ships that he saw in 2011 came from the other side of the sun. Now, how did I know this? I didn't know anything. I mean, I simply was tuning in. I'm somehow tuning into people's energy. Maybe I become activated now. Maybe that's part of what the Ashtar Command wants me to do. They're activating different parts of me now to be able to do that, to help people. So I said, oh yeah, they come from the other side of the sun, way beyond, all the way out in the universe, the other side of the sun. I don't even know what their planet looks like. All I know is that they're translucent. Now, for me
Mhm.
to say the word translucent is not in my vocabulary. Never, normally, what regular person says,
Don't let
oh,
him
they're
try to say it
translucent.
four
Oh,
times
yeah, it
fast.
was nice to meet you, translucent being. I don't say that. But when I get in a different frequency pattern, which I do, not in my normal everyday person out in the street, I get the information. I close my eyes. That's how it comes to me. I said, you're dealing with men and women who are translucent. That's the way they look. And they look that way because they operate at a very high vibrational pattern. And their spiritual level is very, very high, much higher than most humans. And he took that information. I said, they're translucent. And I didn't know what he was going to say. He says, yes, I know they're translucent. So I don't put words in people's mouths. I don't want them to just repeat something. I want them to think for themselves. And when he told me they're translucent, I was blown away because I don't even know what the person's going to say. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But he said they're translucent. So there you go. That's my story. you know
Well,
and that's the whole thing about raising your vibration and teaching people we're here to help each other. And listening keepers here to do that. I'm here to do that. A lot of people are here to do that. And if we work together, can you imagine how many people we can help on this planet? And that's what we're really here to do.
and we have to put words into motion, guys. It's really more than just like somebody in the chat says, meditate, meditate, meditate.
Right.
It's way more than meditate. You've
Right.
got to live that stuff. You've got to live that life. You have got to be able to walk up to somebody in a strange situation and give them a hug. You've got to be able to dine and hang out with the least of these amongst society. You've got to be willing to get rid of the jealousy, get rid of the ego, get rid of, you see, even like the little bit of inklings of negativity in your head. These beings know, the universe knows. So you can't hide that.
Right, you can't.
You can't hide that within your soul. So, I'm always going to tell you guys when you're watching, we can't be one person here on the live and then, out in the streets do something else.
Right.
And I'm tired of seeing it, and honestly, that's why I have not been able to go live with you guys for these past few days, because as Commander, he sees my personal page and stuff.
Yeah, good.
I've been busy. I've been working. I've been doing things in the community. I've been trying to really get myself out there into the community and use my voice and my heart. My heart is what matters, guys. Your heart has to be in it. Truly, you can't just say, I'm a star seed and I'm going to see beings and I'm going to meditate and then live, just live an existence of negativity, or you're half as glass empty.
Right.
You guys, we need to be, our glasses are overflowing because
Well, he's not
we're
knocking
together.
meditation, guys. He's not knocking
No, yeah, I
meditation.
am
Meditation. This is
not
meditation right
knocking
here.
meditation.
This is
I am not.
meditation. Meditation is long ears. That's listening. That's meditation. And meditation, when you're meditating, when you're clearing your mind, it's so you can understand and hear the deeper listening. It's
Yeah.
what's something that you can't hear with all that noise in our head. Now, there is an aspect that's missing. When you guys keep talking about meditation, you're forgetting about prayer. Prayer is the long tongue. Okay, and so when we pray, we have to be very specific what we're praying for. My chief would say, "Pray for everybody," and I'm like, "Yeah, but not every. I don't know if everybody's worthy of my prayers, right?" So I had to really figure that out, and so when he put me on the
You had
hill
to
at
stop that.
Devil's
Yeah.
Town, he said, "Pray for everybody," and I was like, and I almost forgot to pray for one person, and that was myself. And so I was like, okay, I need to pray for myself too. So,
that's the other side of it too, Wisdom. That's the other side. There's spirit workers out there that are giving and giving and giving to everybody and putting so much into other people that they're forgetting about themselves. They're forgetting about their homes. And when I by home, I mean this temple here, because it is our temple. And we have to, that mind, body, and spirit, it's got to be in it to win it. So the disclosure is not, we all want it and it's gonna happen, but you don't want to be And Commander will tell you that there are going to be people that are going to be taken off planet.
Yeah, they will be.
And,
Hold on. He says the
and
only
you don't
way to
want to
the
be one of
it's
those
the
that
only way to
aren't.
the Father and the Son. You forgot about the Holy Mother. Don't forget about the Holy Mother, brother.
Yeah.
Freaking. Don't you forget
Don't
about your
forget the
mother.
mother.
Yeah, that's true. And it's, we have to really put those words into action every day, guys. That's going to be my message to you guys. Every
And you know
day,
what?
love somebody, be good to people, hold doors, don't drive like an a-hole, don't try to prove yourself, don't try to push your agenda or your thoughts on somebody. Just show people love, and that is how you're going to get them to see the light.
And to go further, to be in a place where many people realize they came here to volunteer on Earth. We all did. Some people are just remembering it now. There's different waves of remembrance. Not everyone's going to remember. There's billions of people on Earth. Not everyone's at the same level we're talking at right now. They probably don't even know what we're saying, but there are people that do. And as you grow into remembering who you are, it's like baby steps. As you remember, you might say, "What are they talking about?" I'm starting to remember stuff, but I don't know what this is, and that's okay. But the thing is, love is the key thing. When our space brothers talk to us, when the Kadar Manka speaks to me telepathically and gives me information, it's clear. There's no filtering. It's not channeled. I never channeled, even before the internet. I never, ever, ever channeled. And when I saw people channeling the same being, 10,000 different people, I said, they don't realize they're not channeling that being. They're channeling their own self and they're projecting their own self, but they don't want to say it. They don't realize it for whatever reason. So I'm so I mean, I respect people for what they do, but I want people to know that many times on Facebook, for example, that has been the big room of channeling is Facebook. And if you want to hear all the channels say, I'm so and so, and we greet you on earth, and we love you, and we want to know we're with you now. We're going to be with you tomorrow. We'll be with you on the weekend if you need us, except if we're not, So there's too much of that going on, and that I've seen too many decades of the internet where people thought things were going to happen because people channeled it. People need to get in touch with themselves. They need to connect with yourself, your inner spirit, when you want to call it your higher
Yeah.
self, the light being within you. That's the thing. It's not outside of you, it's inside of you. When the Creator created us, He didn't say, go outside of yourself to find the truth. The truth was given to you in every single cell of your body, but you don't remember it. You don't connect with it. Now, I'm not saying everybody doesn't connect with it, but I'm really just going to preach the word here in my cosmic Ashtar way. People need to get it together and get inside themselves. And when you meditate, not always you're meditating and getting inside of who you are. You're meditating because you had a bad day or whatever. There's a lot of people that do meditation classes just for the basics. I'm talking about galactic awakening. I'm talking about opening up and waking up and electrifying yourself, electrocuting yourself in a good way, not electrocuting yourself and,
Yeah,
like
and
fire.
guys, it's not like you even have to manifest it. You're gonna wake up feeling it. You're gonna
Yeah,
wake up. You're gonna wake up like I'm ready to conquer the world every day.
right.
Every day you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, is this enlightenment? And yeah, you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have sad days. You're gonna have crappy days.
Yeah.
But how you approach that is ultimately how we will be judged. And
Yeah.
I had a message sent to me, Commander. One of the things that the ETs love about the human experience is the culture and traditions. Okay,
Hmm.
and if you guys aren't living a life of, and I don't want to call it like a tribal tradition, but if
No.
you guys aren't building your own customs and traditions within your homes
Mm-hmm.
that focus around the Enlightenment, then you're also missing the boat. And
Hmm.
that's
And
something you really have to think about. And some people, you're going to find yourself separating yourselves from family members
right.
because you will, they're going to be an energy drain on you, because as much as we want to believe everybody is a person of light, they're not. But what we can do as star seeds is just show them the love, but kind of, you have to
Right.
put that hand up. You have to put
You
that
have
hand up. You have to be able to say no to people as well.
right.
Because
You
the
have to
same
protect
way
yourself.
people will try to infiltrate, there will be entities and beings and spirits, whatever you want to call, that they will come in the name of good and light as a deception.
Right.
And
And they've been around for
what they'll have you doing is staring at your TikTok all day long, looking for Commander or a nuke or wisdom keepers or somebody to give you an answer.
Mhm.
And the answer is right here.
That's right. Now
The
the
answer
answer
is
is on
within.
encounters.
And sometimes we have to swallow that hard pill and just take that look within. And that mission and that growth will open the door to everything else you guys want. So it is
Yeah.
going to happen for you. I love you. It is going to happen.
And that's why, and also the answer is on encounters.
And the
That's because
answers on encounters. I didn't say you
you
didn't
didn't
have me.
mention
I
that.
didn't mean it like that, but I'm saying that
I know you didn't,
we
but
need
I
to,
I had to make a little joke there because you would go ahead and say,
sure,
and the
shepherds
answer is
are
on
important.
encounters.
Shepherds are very important. But you know what? In the world of all of these shepherds, I'm your guys' sheepdog. I'm gonna
Oh,
protect you, and I'm
that's
gonna
right.
help. I'm gonna help you in that flock.
You will.
Commander, you can be the lead, and I'm good. And I'm good protecting and barking when I need to.
Well, James came from this planet, from another planet, and he came as a warrior of light. You can, if you read up James's energy, and I don't tell him this, but I'm going to say it now. James is a warrior of light. He's here to bust the matrix, bust the illusion of all these cosmic jokers. We used to call things, interesting enough, cosmic jokers. Cosmic jokers are beings that are not here for the purpose of enlightenment and for the liberation of our planet. They're basically trying to subvert that from happening, and they exist. They might come in your consciousness. They might, you might see them on the street. They might come in your house. You might say, "Oh, who are you?" "Oh, I'm here to help you. I come to the planet Zuba Duba, and I'm here to help you." Now, if you want to go on our ship,
Zuba duba.
we'll 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 take you to Zuba. We'll take you to Zuba Duba, and our world is about 10 light years from yours. At Zuba Duba, we've actually made better shopping malls. Our cities are better than yours. We have more pollution than you have, and people have very horrific dreams at night. So we'll take you to our planet. You can stay at one of our haunted hotels where people that used to be alive on our planet now will haunt you forever if you come. Would you like to come on a journey with us? Our ship is a little bit antiquated, but we'll get there someday. Now, I'm just joking.
It's a little bit antiquated.
Okay,
I'm
so we
just,
have to add to that
I'm
now.
just,
Zuba
Zuba
duba.
Duba.
Super
Zuba
duper.
I'm
duba.
sorry.
Captain Bubba Bubba.
Hey guys,
I
how
had
are
to do it.
you?
Hey,
How
Uh,
Grace.
you doing, Grace? I'm
hey,
still
doing
laughing
good.
about that.
Doing so good. This is such a good chat tonight. This is
Thank
great.
you.
So thank you so much.
Zuba duba. Good
I
night.
want to add to the development of self, and I
Yes.
learned this a long time ago when my children were little because I was working on myself and I wanted to really understand. Okay, people would say the word meditation and, you have to meditate, you have to meditate. And I'd say, I have a really hard time sitting still. So it basically has become a discipline. And the way I manage to discipline, this is one aspect. The way I've managed to discipline myself and become and able to meditate is through art and creating.
Hmm. Hmm.
Another way that has come to me in the form of meditation, and I read this a long time from out of a book called the Mary's. I believe the title was Mary's Ways or something like. It's a really
Hmm.
old book. If I actually find the title, I will post it on my TikTok, or I'll post the book. But anyway, the book talks about how Mary tells us, Mother Mary tells us that we can meditate in any form. We can be washing the dishes
Yes.
and looking out at out the window, or we could
Yes.
have a
Active
filter
meditation.
above our sink, and we could, put whatever it takes to kind of bring ourselves back into, ourself. And I've found that I could meditate while doing laundry. I could meditate while doing menial tasks. And, this has been said throughout the ages. There have been many saints and holy individuals, many ways have said that there is this seek the holy in the small acts in
Yes.
life. And so you can find a way to become connected to you and your inner being and your guidance, right? The guidance that, that inner being who creates, who's connected to that creates worlds. And you can find that in yourself. And it could be digging in the dirt, right? It could be walking. It could be walking on the beach. It could be swimming. It could just be a multitude of ways down to that path of, just quieting the mind. I think what happens is we have like frozen our pineal gland, and the pineal gland
Right.
is the receiver. It receives information about the state of light and dark cycles. So if we have that frozen or clogged, and the way we have it clogged, and this, of course, society has designed for that to be that way.
Sure, they're putting the chemicals in the food to block it.
Exactly, the fluoride in the toothpaste and the water, and yes, it's good for the teeth, but yes, on the other hand, it blocks our ability to see. I think very, very cautiously before I, use a fluoride toothpaste. I'll use other methods, like peroxide and things like that, food grade peroxide, instead of using the fluoride. But the thing is that it's television. It's continuous intake of data that can become overwhelming. And so basically, bottom line, I believe it's simplification. It's simplifying your life. And I believe it's possible to find however it is, if it's sewing or if it's beading or if it's weaving, if it's even stargazing. For me,
Stargazing. Yeah.
stargazing is huge way to meditate. So I think what happens is you are, it's sort of like getting into theta. When you get into theta, exactly. I
What
see
was
that,
that?
Mr.
What was
Keepers.
What
I
that?
is
see
that?
that. Beautiful.
Wisdom keeper.
Are
I'm a
you,
weaver.
I love
Oh, you're a
it.
So I'm
weaver.
making earrings.
Oh, wow. Oh, I would love a pair
Oh,
of those. Oh my God, I would love a pair of those. I'm an artist, but I'm a professional
Commander, your
artist.
green screen's blocking it.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
It is
No, I
blocking it.
saw it. I saw it. It's like this woven, what's it woven out of?
No, this is silver.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll
Wow.
show you what
Oh,
it
that
looks
was
like.
silver?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
this is
thought that was
silver.
like a natural fiber. I
Wow.
couldn't
Oh, you've
tell.
got some fine silver.
Oh,
That
that's,
looks really good. Look at that.
oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, so I gotta finish them up, and that's what they'll look like.
There you go.
Wow.
So you know what I'm talking about as far as creating and creation.
Those will be
So
activated.
yeah, so these are all things, and the pineal gland, I'll talk about a little bit more about it. It not only connects us to our sleep patterns, it's an organ. It's an organ that it's been forgotten about. It's like there's an organ in the body too. I think it's the appendix that we really don't use to function. We can actually live without it, right? And to be honest with you, I feel like the pineal gland is a very similar gland that if we don't use it, we lose it. And I
Right.
think that's a big factor in the connection to our star family. And
Right.
when
Absolutely.
you open up, you will receive, and and it takes practice by all means. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It takes practice, it takes adjustment. But it's just going with the flow in many, many cases, like when you do swim and you float,
Yeah.
if anybody knows that, floating, you can just like let it go. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're very buoyant, and your just body's
Yeah.
just, that to me is like the ultimate in getting into theta,
Mhm.
where where you set aside the logical mind, or the mind
Right.
that's sort of constantly talking and saying, "Oh no, I can't do it that way, and it should be done this way," and everyone wants to be heard, and
Or so and so is doing it this way, so I got to do it that way.
yeah,
And you're
exactly. It's
doing it the
like,
wrong way.
so it's so important too. I mean, I love a good teacher, and being a classical artist and trained classically,
Whoa,
I
dogs and
had
Thank
cats.
you.
I had
Thank you,
to
Echo.
really I hate to use this word, but in a way it was like I had to bow down, and I had to humble myself, because I needed something from them that I didn't have. So I needed to pay attention, and really, I took many, many, many moons, I will say, for me
Mhm.
to finally, feel independent of them. It was almost a decade or more. But
Mhm.
through the through that practice and that abiding and listening to a master, so in a sense, these people have become like my teachers, and I've been very fortunate, because I've had a lot of forms of teachers in my life. And I know that there's something to that, but when you
Mhm.
listen and you really ask for, to your questions to the universe. And I think it was somebody last night in the live was talking about listening to the frequency of the earth.
Yeah.
And you can talk to that frequency, which is part of who you are as well. You're
Yeah.
also part of the frequency. So when you connect to that, you will get answers for yourself. They will come. It won't be from, let's, many people might hear the same answer, because we're all in a collective like frequency, right? We're all in
Yeah.
this one kind of broad, very gigantic cosmos that we all like, are in. But you know how like a person will get a book idea, and then you've
Yeah.
got 10 other people with the same idea. It's because they are kind of beelining into that source frequency, and like source is just providing. But
Mm.
it's like, if you feel like you're freaking out and you can't do what you need to do, like sit in a position, a lotus position, and meditating, and you go for a walk out in nature and talk to the
Mhm.
sky, talk to the universe, and just,
Yeah.
and then give it a minute. You'll get responses. It's incredible.
And what you're saying is very true. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. I have my good friend out west, Wisdom Keeper. We have Grace with our Ashtar C5 group. We have Down the Rabbit Hole, my co-host down in Florida. And we have all of you. You are all here. So we always acknowledge our viewership. And you're all here. Even if I don't say your name or whatever, I see all of you here on the screen. And we do want you to know that we acknowledge all of you and we love you all. And that's the difference with this talk show. The other thing is, what you're saying, Grace, about the earth is true. The thing again goes to, instead of going out there on websites trying to find the truth, connect with yourself, connect with the energy of the universe, connect with the earth, which is part of the universe. The creator created a multiverse, meaning there's so many levels and so many different realities. So the 3D mind has trouble understanding those three. The 3D mind has no concept of the other realities because it's created to be what it is perfectly. It's a 3D mind. That's what it's created to do. It's like getting the first edition of an Apple computer in your house and looking at 20 years later from what the first edition was, and it still looks the same way it always did. And so I'm saying is, unless you're willing
to expand your consciousness and go within yourself. You're going to be reaching out for this, that, and everything else, the newspaper, the TV channel. You're going to be reaching out for the best website ever to get the truth from some guy or gal that's writing the truth. And you think, this person's telling me the truth. They're telling me the truth. Did you hear about this person? They're telling the truth. And you have to go to this person. Everybody should meet this person. They are the truth. They're even better than the creator. I mean, they make the creator look like he didn't create it. It didn't create anything. This person was created, but he's even better than the creator of the universe. So everyone needs to bow down to this creator. He looks human, but he's the creator. And you thought there was a creator of the universe out there, right? What I'm saying, folks, is, all kidding aside, what is really truly serious is that what Grace is saying is true. People need to connect with the Earth. The Earth is a sentient being. All planets, in the 3D mind, you don't realize this. Every single planet is a living entity. We say, how could a rock be a living entity? How could a planet be a living planet?
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
if you're going to have
Avatar.
life on a planet, if you have life on any planet, in order for it to sustain itself, it's a living vibrational frequency. If you plant a seed on a planet, on that sentient being, which is that planet, whatever planet it is, it will grow because there's life. The life is the planet. The planet is life, just like your life. The planet has a life of its own, but we think of the planet as being a solid rock. And that's a limited form of consciousness. When people come from other planets and they talk about their planets, and we get to meet our space family and we get to travel to their planet, if we're ready to do so, we're going to learn so many things about those other planets and their lifestyles and the way they live and what they do. We're going to be learning more and more and more about our whole universe. So what Grace is saying is so true. And what people need to do, I mean, if you wish to do it, is to really connect on that level. Connect, touch the earth. When you go to the beach and you put your foot in the sand and you go in the water, don't you feel the life of the planet? Don't you feel that? If you don't feel it
Yeah.
and you're just going saying, oh, I'm getting water on my face, or there's a big wave hitting me, then you're not connecting. You're saying, oh, I get too much water hitting my face. That's not it. You're not touching and feeling the energy of the planet. Every planet has energy. Every planet has life. Contrary to NASA saying, oh, we hope to find some amoeba somewhere in the universe or an Earth-like planet. Come on now. That's a lie. There's life everywhere. And these people are so smart. They got their degrees. They're scientists. They're NASA. They got their space cameras up there. They're so smart. And yet they don't even know that there are people living on other planets. And they call themselves NASA. NASA for nothing is what I call it. And
That's something
NASA for
nothing.
nothing. That's a new motto. And get your bumper sticker here on Encounters. So I'm taking pot shots here, but I'm amped up here. So that's why I'm just like fired up here. I'm just like,
He
let's
is
get with the
fired
ticket
up,
here.
everybody.
I'm
He's gonna
fired up.
listen here, pal.
When people see me fired up, they just keep egging me on. But I am fired up because what everyone's saying, what Wisdom Keeper is saying is so true. And what Grace is saying, what James was just saying before, all this is cosmic truth. When you speak the cosmic truth and you listen to the sounds of the universe, you can't accept things lesser than that. You have to want to expand yourself to a greater good, to a greater sense of knowing, of understanding. You can't go back to like, okay, it's 9 to 5 work today. I'm just going to be a regular person, get in the car, bang somebody else's car up, go to McDonald's. Maybe I'll go to Chicken Delight, or I don't know, or Kentucky Fried Chicken. And maybe I'll go home and read a newspaper. I don't want to watch the football game. That team is really bad, or whatever. That's the 3D whole thing. It's all over the place. And you're saying, you're getting angry about your team losing. Who cares? Really, right? Who cares about that? That's not even
You're
important.
used to it. You're a Jets fan.
You know,
I'm
the
just joking.
that's the hamster wheel. That's all it
the
is.
hamster
It's
wheel.
the hamster wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's a word right here that most people, and because we're talking about these things about enlightenment, for example, right? I'm gonna enlighten you right now about something, because when you hear this word, it's always in association with something negative. If I was to tell everybody here, you are pathetic, Everybody goes,
Yeah.
whoa, did you just call me
No.
pathetic?
Did you just call me pathetic?
Yes, I'm pathetic. I am pathetic. I am pathetic because I understand that what the root word of that means. See, it's everybody's pathetic. Sympathetic, apathetic, empathetic.
I was going to say they're mostly apathetic.
And they could be
Well,
sympathetic too.
so that's because those things go they're synonyms. It's synonymous with pathetic, right? So what that means is like when we use it in that other way, in that not so good way, that is to to describe someone that you feel is like beneath you, or that's an idiot or an imbecile. Um, but it's also used to inspire love and empowerment and connection.
Sure.
Being pathetic inspires that too, not just on the way to make people feel bad about themselves by calling them
Right.
pathetic. So and I'm not kidding you. Look it up and look up
Mm-hmm.
pathetic, and then look up the synonyms for pathetic, and you'll go,
Mm-hmm.
oh wow, there's so much more to that word
There really
than
is.
what we've been taught.
And
Because
after
when
you
we
look
say it,
those
we say it
words
like it's
up,
a dirty word.
now after you look those words up, as Wisdom Keeper's saying, then you can become sympathetic after you've been through the pathetic
Or
synonyms that he's
empathetic.
talking, or
You know,
apathetic.
Yeah, it's the words are tricky, somebody says. Angela 808, I hope you're from Hawaii, my hometown.
what's your hometown?
Eva Beach,
Which island?
Oahu.
Oh, I got property on Big Eye.
Man, we gotta go there. He's got property. We gotta go out to the property,
I
guys.
got 3 acres. We're gonna have an encounters there. We're gonna have to
I
We're
have
think
gonna
you're reading my
we're
mind,
gonna have
Wisdom Keeper.
to get up there for real.
Yeah,
And
I got
Hey,
three.
Commander.
also, people need to know about Wisdom Keeper. He does the Star Knowledge conferences, and for new people here, he's wonderful in all the work he does in enlightening people and bringing people together in his experiences. And those are coming up next year again, correct? The conferences.
In a month from 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Our next
Are
one
you
is here
going
in
to that
South
one
Dakota.
in the north? Are you going to the one is somewhere in the northwest? Are you going to that one?
Northwest. Are you talking about the Sunfire Festival? The one that just
Yeah.
passed? That just
Oh, is
passed.
that
That
what it
was
was? Okay.
Jen and Brian Berryhill hosted that one with another woman. I can't remember her name. But yeah, I didn't make it. We didn't make it to that one. I didn't even make it to the tribal visions because Robin, my beloved, is taking care of her aunt right now. So
Mm.
right before we were supposed to go, her aunt was in the hospital, so she had to leave here. So I was like,
And we
wow.
and we talked about a while ago, a few months ago, that I'm willing to finally. I've done workshops here in New England, but I offered to speak at one of the upcoming next year conferences, and you can private message me about that. So I'm willing
Totally.
to do that. I think it's time for me to speak to a larger group, as I'm doing here, but I have very specific things they're telling me upstairs that people need to know about. And, I'm up for it, and I'm willing to speak publicly. I mean, obviously I'm speaking publicly on here, so I'm not shy about doing that. So we'll talk privately, and we'll get that together at some point. And you're watching the show. I have some great guests here. My co-host, James. I have Wisdom Keeper, a good friend of mine out west, and he does all the star gatherings, and he takes a lot of time organizing this. And I think it's really important that people, if you get to go to a star gathering, you'll learn a great deal of information and star knowledge. And also Grace, locally with our group, who's a wonderful person who I met through our thing on TikTok. Believe it or not, this is how we met, some of us. And Chesno, who's here as well. Vincent, he's another good friend. We met right here in Connecticut, and we're all working together for that whole transformation of our planet. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, we don't want to, we want to acknowledge if you've never been on our show before and you have a story to tell about visitations, with space people, or you've had a recent encounter with any regular UFO sightings or spaceships, you can become a guest on here. So I'd like to invite some new people to join us. And don't be shy about it, because this is a show where we don't hit people over the head. We don't laugh at you. If you get to know me, I'm on radio for 20 years. I've been on the radio since the 70s in Vermont, but I've been on radio for 20 years in Connecticut doing the Ashtar Command radio show, The Cosmic Eye. And my whole show is about people coming out of the closet, being who they are. If you're a starseed, say what planet you're from. If you remember where you're from, say where you're from. If you've had an encounter, tell us where you've had the encounter. If you're having visitations, okay? Visitations.
Commander, I have some exciting news.
I have a feeling you got some news. Go ahead.
So, remember I was telling you about the shaman man that I know that has the ancient book of ETs?
Yeah.
Well, I went back and I took some notes, and I only he had so much information, so I got notes on my star-seeded people, and I got notes on the Pleiadians and notes on the Venusians.
Really?
But I wanted to
I'd like to.
share. I wanted to
Yeah.
share
Oh,
what it
good.
said about my star seed, because a few people were asking about it, and not a lot of people know about these Santinians.
Yeah. And also, I want to hear about the Venusians, too, when you get to it.
I'll pull that one up next. So the Santinians are one of the closest humanoid creatures to Earthlings. They come from the Centauri system, from the planet called Metheria, and it's one of the several planets that are in the Centauri A region. They're only 4.5 light years away.
Wow.
The Santinians are one of the spiritually and technologically most advanced humanites in our cosmic neighborhood. There are close connections to Syrians, Pleiadians, and Venusians, and are members of the Ashtar Command. Now, this book was written in like the early 1900s.
Yeah, see?
Okay? The name of Santinian comes from Santini, Italian, which means saint-like. Now, Metherians, the star seeds with Metherians, the reason why I hate the structure is because on Metheria, there is no separation in terms of poor and rich, educated, uneducated. There's no
Yeah.
disagreements, and they live by the spiritual laws.
Yeah, that's right.
They're devoted to their devotion is to the highest, which means being connected to the source and serving the divine will. Now, remember, I told you guys I always felt like a servant, and now I have confirmation of that. They're known for their authority, which they can guide and help and teach others, and their harmonic resonance is constant within consciousness, so they're able to relate to people.
Yeah, consciousness. That's the key.
So let's pull up the Pleiadian ones.
Very cool.
It's very interesting, James.
Okay, this is their Nordic aliens. Is what the book says. Now I know we don't like using the word alien, but this was an old book. Hold on, I'm trying to. I took pictures, but the writing was so like, ooh,
Really? Yeah. You're watching Encounters, by the way. This is CmdrAleon. This is the #1 late night UFO talk show anywhere on social media. I hear we're better than CNN, NBC, and Fox. The word's getting around that those networks don't even do what we do here. We're becoming the #1 talk show on spiritual UFO matters anywhere on the planet right here. So if you don't have TikTok, get all your friends to get TikTok. Tell everyone to get TikTok. and follow us and watch encounters nightly here on planet Earth. That's all I've got to say about that.
Wow. The Pleiadians are from a star cluster 420 light years away. The names of the Pleiades system star planets are Taygeta, Maya, Coeta, Atlas, Merope, Electra, and Alcyone.
Yeah,
The
Alcyon.
Pleiadians reside on the planet Era, which is almost as large as Earth.
Yeah, it's a big planet.
They can live from 400 to 500 years old. They have a Nordic appearance. They could be anywhere from 5 to 7 feet tall. They can now. This is a weird note that I took in. They can regulate their temperature better than other ETs. That's why they like coming to our planet, because some other ETs have problem regulating their temperatures. Now, it
Yeah,
also says that their eyes are bigger than humans, but they have very, they look, very human. They said that there was on Earth, listen to this, 225,000 years ago.
oh yeah, absolutely.
But wait, now, people always say that they're associated with the Nordic people, but this book says that they're more aligned with South America, Peru, the islands in the South Pacific,
Yeah, like the
Samoa,
Lemurians.
India, Bali, Hawaii, like
Yeah,
those areas.
yeah, the Lemurians.
The Lemurians. So it says that the Pleiadians stayed on Earth until, listen to this, 10 AD. So
Hmm.
they were here active until 10 AD. The Palladians, now this is in the book, left a spiritual leader who they called Jemanuel. Jemanuel, whose father was Gabriel of the Pleiades system, and whose mother, Mary, was of Lyrian descent. After he left, his job was to allow Earthlings to pretty much evolve on their own.
Yeah,
So wait, I even took
that's it.
notes on their habits. Hold on, they have habits.
They have habits. No
The fu-
hobbits. Habits.
they said there's 400,000 people living on this planet Era. And the Pleiadians don't. They feel like they don't need to keep on populating more than that. Um, on the planet, they travel in a tube system. They don't teleport. They don't use crafts. They use a tube system, and they have no medical issues at all, because they can control their body with their mind to heal itself. When
Yeah,
they come on ships, they have interplanetary ships that are mostly 20 to 40 feet wide.
yeah.
Now it says that they're picking. Oh,
Nope, you froze. Oh, he's free. He's giving information out and he froze.
Mm-hmm.
I think the government doesn't like the truth.
have a kinship towards humans, and are as far as the ETs go, Pleiadians are the most trusting to humans.
Yeah, the Pleiadians
So
are beautiful.
So the child's name was basically,
Jemanuel.
yeah. It's in the way that the Hebrew pronounce it,
Right,
Hmm.
Emmanuel,
right.
Emmanuel, and when you break it down, it means he who is with God. That's what
Wow.
Immanuel means. So, and it's got the L at the end. So the name is Imanu. Just like when we say Gabriel, it's Gabri,
Right.
L. It's Mika, L.
Hmm.
It's Jofi, L.
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 See, interesting.
They're
So
all
you wanted
L's.
to hear about the Venusians now.
The Venusians, yes. My friend
The
Athena is from
Venusians,
Venus
where do you
down in
think the
LA.
Venusians live?
On, as far as I know, Athena told me that they live on the planet Venus in our solar system. That we have all the information wrong. They live in and I. When you talk about Venus,
You tell me what she said, and I'll tell you what the book says.
okay, I'm going to tell you what my friend from Venus, Athena, said. Many people here have never heard this. I'm speaking from a galactic consciousness at the moment when I answer that question. Venus has been said to be a planet where there's volcanoes, molten lava, there's no life on it, it's impossible to live there. That's all a ruse, that's a lie. Venus itself has a surface. And yeah, they have volcanoes, just like the Earth has volcanoes and earthquakes and all those things. And yes, it is a little bit closer to the sun. And the argument and the excuses and the lies are used. Well, planets that are closer to the sun cannot sustain any life. But that's coming from a limited 3D consciousness, because we don't even understand our own planet, yet alone how do we understand Venus? So Venus, as Athena told me, is where the galactic forces live. Venusians live there. Valiant Thor, a Venusian who came to Earth, came from that Venus. He didn't come from a different Venus. He came from that Venus. There's an entrance into that planet, like they go into they can go into the planet with their spaceships or their flying saucers, as we call them, and they can leave that planet. There's life. I don't know how many people live there, but I do know the people on Venus are able to survive, live, and they do have the ability to grow things and do things. Just because we have lied about Venus, because we've really never been there. We send some satellites into Venus and say there's no life there. The whole thing's a lie. So I'm just going to say this to everyone out there. There is life and living people on Venus. There are men and women and children and families. They don't live like we do. They don't live with governments. They don't live with religion. For some reason, this earth got all messed up for some reason. They don't have that there. They live in oneness with the Creator. Just like when I come from Mars. On Mars, I live with oneness with the Creator. On Mars, the people live there. 10 to 15 million inhabitants on Mars live there. When people say, well, Mars cannot sustain life, that's coming from people that have no idea about Mars, about my planet. They don't even know the consciousness on Mars. Just like people on this planet do not know the consciousness on Venus. But they assume they know everything because they're so smart and they got degrees. But they don't know anything. They got their books, they got their degrees on their wall in some big place. They make big money, and they're going to tell us as scientists, well, there's no life on Venus. So my answer to you is that Venus has people living on it, vegetation, and their climate is adaptable to where they are. You know, it's just like when you go to a cold climate and it's snowing, you came from a warm climate where it was 70 degrees, you wear the appropriate clothing for that climate. If it's snowing out, you're not going to go walking around naked. You're going to wear what's appropriate to that area. Same thing on Venus. Venus has different climates. It's not a hot boiling planet with no life on it. That's a lie. So yeah, now I'm fired up. When you
So,
mentioned about Venus,
And I can add that to that, Commander. I feel now. You tell me if you think this is correct. I feel like they are living on another timeline in another dimensional
yes,
plane, and
let me read it.
that's now
yes, the
how
Venus,
they are functioning on these planets.
Let me
yes.
read it. So
Go ahead.
Venus is not just only inhabited by Venusians, but they formed an alliance with a reptilian race that also lives on Venus, and they control the environment to our eyes with extremely advanced hologram technology. Now, how did they know the word hologram technology? I think the book was written in 1888, by the way.
Because that information is, you know,
Wait,
it's
wait,
in
wait.
ethers.
It's even wild. It gets even crazier. It gets even crazier.
James, we have to have this book. Where did this book,
So
did you get a copy?
it's in his office. It's this, like, he's got it on display. In fact, he doesn't even have it on display. He only shows it to people that he really likes.
What's
So
the
wait,
title? What's the title? Did you get
it just says Terra Eartha Colonia. That's all it says on the front of it.
okay.
We'll have to seek
So
out copies.
so it says that it's Venus is inhabited by both physical and fourth dimensional existences,
Yes,
allegedly inhabited by both Venusian and reptilians beneath the surface, and safe from the surface, which is extreme. The surface is extreme, but they have the technology to control it.
right. That's why they're
But
going to live there.
they're not Venusian. I'm sorry to tell you. The word Venusian is a man-made name, liken it to Martian, because
Right.
they come from Venus, we call them. But
It's just Venus. We say
they are
Venus.
really called, you're going to hear it first, everybody, Cytherians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Valiant 4 came to Earth, he would say we're Venusian, but he's not. But really, he was this Christed being in human
Yeah, they would
form.
use our vernacular.
Vernacular, yeah, that's right. That's what they did. When people, the contactees in the desert, met what they call Venusian men and women, and were taken on their ship, they were never not really Venusian. That was just the word they used as a common phrase, but they were actually
Wait,
what you're saying.
when did you said you knew somebody called Venusian Thor?
No, not Venusian Thor. My
Did
friend
you
Dr.
mention the
Frank
name
Stranges.
Thor?
Yeah, let me explain something. Dr. Frank Stranges, who I had on my radio show years ago before he died, unfortunately, he used to go on Valiant Thor's spaceship in Lake Mead, and there were 200
Valiant
scout
Thor.
ships.
Valiant Thor.
Valiant Thor, yes. Valiant Thor tried to take us on his ship in my house. My friend Ashtar Athena was here. We had a group of people in our other room, and we were sitting there, and the walls were disappearing. And he and Athena was communicating with him telepathically. He had a ship over the house where we are. This is a true story. And he tried to take us on his ship. The wall is starting to fade, like like you have a wall. The wall is starting to
Right.
disappear. We're starting to see nothing. We started to see glimpses of a control and people on the ship with space outfits on, and then it closed up. He said the reason why we couldn't get on the ship, and we thought we were ready to go, he says even though our vibration was high, they weren't able to get us beamed up on the ship. They couldn't get us through the wall because our vibrational patterns were still not high enough. But they tried. They tried. This is a true story. They tried to get us on the ship over the house, and his Victor One ship, and he had the ship over the house. Then I was told that Valiant Thor, that I should go outside. He was walking down the street. Now I
This is
believe he
gonna
was
blow your
walking down. I didn't
mind.
go outside. He was walking down the street of my neighborhood. This was late at night, and we're all in the living room. And I said, "Should I go walking down the street?" I mean, I'm thinking, should I go walking down the street? I'm seriously thinking, oh, I think I just want to stay here with everybody. So I was like, okay, he doesn't have to walk down the street. He can knock on my door and I'll invite him in the house. But that's what I was told to do. But at the same token, I was sitting with all the group, including Athena, and they were trying to take this wall was starting to disappear in the living room, and we could see the spaceship, the inside of the ship. And this is a true story. And we really wanted to put our energy together to do this, but he said, they tried to get us on the ship. They were really trying to beam us onto the ship, bring us into the ship. But our vibrational levels, as high as they were at the time, this is about maybe 15, 16 years ago, wasn't high enough yet to be taken on the ship. So as you're talking about Venus and Valiant Thor, I never met him personally, but he tried with his team of people on this ship
Do you
to take
think?
us on their ship.
Do you think? Do you think they might have gotten his name wrong?
No. Frank Stranges had a deep relationship with him. He met him. They would meet in
Or
Las
maybe
Vegas.
he had a father, because I didn't know what it meant but in the book it says contact it was made with or the representative was Valthor,
Right,
Valthor.
Valthor. You need to read the book, James, called Stranger at the Pentagon, written by Frank King Stranges. It talks about how Balfour landed his ship in Alexandria, Virginia, and through hypnotizing, he got through the blockage areas and went to the White House. The true story of Valiant Thor is in that book. You might be able to see an electronic
Wow.
version on the internet, but you need to read that book. That's going to tell you the connection between Frankie Stranges, who was a friend of mine before he died, and his connection with Valiant Thor.
Hey, is JCC, are you still in the chat down here? I don't know if you had a chance to talk to her. She actually reached out to me personally, and we were able to share some of her stories. And she is, I don't know if she wants me to put all her business out there, but I'm going to because she watches the show. But she is having like portal images, and I see that Zilla mentioned it. Wisdom Keeper, you might know more about this than I do, but
Mm-hmm.
she says she's seeing what looks like an active, like an example. She was at the park and she's
Mm-hmm.
watching these kids play, and behind them, she could see what looked like a portal opening and somebody watching, like through the portal, watching them, and
They
nobody.
can.
Yeah,
So, yeah, she's having
The
some
portal.
cool experiences over there.
that
There was
sounds.
a gentleman, and I'll turn over to Grace in a minute. I don't have to find the story. This gentleman was in a desert area, I think in Arizona somewhere, and there was I guess, a portal open, and you can see people in spacesuits doing work on this ship. They were there, and the other people were on the ground. I'm not sure the whole story, and I don't want to misrepresent the story, but I'll have to find it. And what happened was the person and this other person, they ended up missing and they never came back again. The last thing they saw was there was a ship. It opened up like a doorway, like a portal to another frequency. And they saw the ship with these people in it that were like us, like really busy doing work on the ship, not paying attention to these other people, just looking at them. And the way I understand the remembrance of it was they just appeared in the desert and they were taken on this ship. They never came back.
Wow.
They
Oh,
weren't abducted or anything. Something
the
happened.
one last thing I got from the book, my notes here, was that the first president or confirmed president to have contact with ETs was Benjamin Harrison. Benjamin Harrison had contact with ETs.
Can you explain who he is for people in the audience that don't know who Benjamin Harrison is?
He was
I think
he
that
was
would be a
a
good idea.
president of the United States back in like the 1880s,
Yeah,
late
yeah.
80s, early 90s back then, and the book says that he made contact with ETs.
And speaking of ETs, I see the 1111 wisdom behind you. Is
Yeah.
that enough? Is that like just for the looks of it, or is that something coming up?
Oh, that's the flyer for.
Oh, look at that!
Yeah. So you won't see
Wow.
my picture on there because I didn't give them a picture or write a bio, so they didn't add me to the flyer. And I was like, I don't need to be on there anyway because I'm going to be working the whole time. Because I'm
Okay.
also going to be setting up the audio and the what is that? Because they're going to be streaming it, so I'm going to be helping to run like the audio, video,
Mm-hmm.
everything for all the people and the projectors and I'm doing everything.
You're in everything. Well, you're multidimensional.
You're
And is that
I was
stream
gonna say
going to be
you're
available?
multi-dimensional,
Uh,
multifaceted.
is there a way to turn the camera around here? That's what I was trying to look for to see if I could flip
Yeah,
it.
you can turn your camera
If
around
you
if you
click
press
on
the
Okay.
your
little line thing.
click on your
There's a
Oh, I
little
spot
gotta turn that
dotted
there.
other
thing.
thing off though. Hold on, let me turn that off. Let me turn the
Yeah, you can
effects
turn
off.
your camera off just by going to the picture thing.
Okay, I gotta turn the effect off though. Okay,
Yeah,
there.
that's
Okay.
there you go.
Okay. Because what I want to show you is this, because I have a hard drive, and
Oh,
I've been
look at this.
collecting data for a long time. So I have, my music's on there, of course, but like the ebooks. So if you see the, like Course in Miracles, there's for food, there's Coast to Coast, Carol and Miss, David Wilcock,
How about Stranger at the Pentagon?
Stranger at the Pentagon. Let me see if it's in here. It
If
might be
it's
in the
not,
other
you can
file.
probably get it. Yeah. Everybody needs to
Serpent
read
of
that book.
Light.
Everybody out here.
Oh no, there's one that everybody needs to read too. Is the Master Key System.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Master Key
And what's that?
System is what the secret was based on. It was a banned book that they found, and that's what they emulated the secret from.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the Master Key System. But
Interesting.
that book was banned in America. It was banned here.
Huh.
Where's the other one at? See, yeah, and then when they found it, they made this whole thing, and they made it like they made it up, right?
Yeah.
So there's all these movies. Bruce Lipton, of course, the Esoteric Agenda, Entheogen movie. I mean, you're just talking about tons and tons of movies,
Yeah.
documentaries, meditation. Hold on, there was another one. It's called Metaphysics. Right here.
Metaphysics.
There is.
So have you heard anything about these Santinian races before? Because I know you weren't on the live, but this shaman tells me that that's my star seed and that we're Earth based, and there's just not a lot of information on them.
I can probably find it for you. So yeah, so there's like, I mean, almost
I'll dive
anybody's
into that
books.
too.
What, Grace?
I'll dive into that too. I'll see if I can dive into that too,
Oh,
James.
okay. And speaking of diving into things, this is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show, the number one talk show. I must take a promotional break here for a moment. I'm CmdrAleon. My co-host is James. We have Grace here. My good friend, Wisdom Keeper, who does the Star Knowledge conferences, which I'm going to work with him privately to see if I can get out there and speak on behalf of the Ashtar Command to a large group of people, which I'm finally at peace to do. And also, please share and like, and also show your support for the work we're doing here. As you're watching this for the first time, you're saying, wow, this is different than any other TikTok I've watched. They're not wrestling with each other. They're not throwing Nerf balls in a room with disco lights. We're really having, an integrated way of bringing people together here, which is my key. When I teach my classes and take people off planet, I want people to feel comfortable even in that circle of folks. There's a lot of things I do. I'm hoping to do some more Christed healings on here. And that would be a separate broadcast. I've done a few of them when I first came on here, and people know that they are as a conduit, that the healing things that I'm used as a conduit for the Christ, cosmically speaking, have helped people when I've done that focus. So please show some love, become a subscriber. We have now 23 of 100 subscribers. Renew your subscription if your subscription has run out. If you can do one subscription a month, or whatever you want to do, do it. Please also show some love here, as I show my love for all of you for being here. Please show that love in gifting. If you have TikTok capabilities for gifting, on your screen, TikTok shows you a gifting area. Please, if you can do it, please do it. It helps quite a bit. And we got 172 beautiful souls here on Encounters. So please show some gifts. It doesn't matter if it's a small gift,
Ooh, you just
whether
got a
it's a
kiss
big
on the
spaceship.
face.
Captain Apostle, thank you for the galaxy.
Paul,
So we're going to take a few
Paul with
moments to
the
breathe, have
galaxy.
some coffee, tea, maybe not coffee because you might be up all night, but tea or something
Or
soothing,
cider.
and
This code.
cider. Like what I do, I drink cider. That's my amped up cosmic drink of that I love having. So
Is
show
there a
some
lot of
love. I appreciate the gifts from Paul, and let's see all the other gifts we got. Roses from Chesno. We got Liam and Elizabeth sent hearts. Britter sent hearts, and Captain Apostle sent me a heart before. So we have a lot more people than these few here. So I know there's other people with TikTok money just sitting there in your TikTok bank. Share a little bit of love. Pick a gift you want. Look at your gift list and just press it.
Yeah, next
Cider
time
is
you
good.
guys are having lunch with Elon Musk, don't forget to tell him about the show.
And yeah, tell them about the show. Tell them about getting into apple cider. Elon Musk has to get into apple cider. It might change his consciousness, but we'll see. Um,
Oh,
but
look
yeah,
at that. Who
please.
started the poll? I'm going to vote tea because I'm a tea drinker.
I have
Yeah,
tea as well. I have chamomile tea.
yeah. And I
I'm
got
a,
my cat here. I was
oh,
going
the
to bring her
cat's
on
here.
camera. The cat's here. Let me see if I can bring her on. Hold on a minute.
So, James, I found a PDF of the book that I think you were talking about. Because I'd
Does
like
it
to.
Oh,
look like, does it look like
oh, I'm
it was
sorry.
like handwritten?
Here's
Oh,
my cat. Here's my
what
cat.
was it? Oh, look at the kitty. Hey, baby.
She's an ET. Let her
Oh, you
now. She's
guys
not
gotta,
comfortable.
don't let that cat chase my rabbit.
No, she wasn't comfortable with that, so I couldn't do that. I'm sorry, Missy.
No,
Oh,
this
no, don't.
is
She's
books.
looking at my hand. She's
Oh
following my
my
hand now,
goodness.
so that might not be a good thing. But I love you too. Now she's biting on my tripod. No, the tripod's okay. You can leave that alone. I'm talking to my cat. That's what space people do. We talk to our cats. Oh, she's biting. She's biting my toe.
The next poll should be, are more star seeds cat people or dog people? Because I'm a cat person
I'm
myself.
a cat person too.
And I have birds.
I
You're
have
a bird
dogs.
person.
Yeah,
I
I
thought you had some
actually have
rabbits.
I have a little sanctuary on my property. We have rabbits. We have all different types of birds, 12 different species of
Oh
birds,
wow. You
and
I
we
think she
and we
does.
have a hawk.
what? I
Yep.
have dogs. I have two dogs. I would have 10 if I could, though.
Yeah.
I love dogs. So, an interview with the alien wisdom keeper.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I am a bookworm. I'm a researcher. I, love research, and I could just delve into that PDF file you have there.
Yeah,
She would
it's a
she would
it's a
love to
short
come
read.
check that computer out.
Well, no, this is my hard
Absolutely.
drive here. Okay, so what I'm showing you guys is I'm showing you that's 20 years of research that I saved. That's 20
Wow.
years of research
Wow.
Wow.
of movies, of documentaries, of everything that has to do with changing your life and changing your mind, changing your body, changing your frequency. It's 20 years of research right there, and that includes, I mean, anything from meditation to Reiki to almost any kind of anything you could think of.
Wow.
Um,
It's just like an encyclopedia.
He's a walking encyclopedia.
I
Basically.
actually have it all like written down on paper. I've written everything down on notes and
well,
paper. I
for the,
never,
yeah, I created a database of
great
all of this
idea.
so I can share with other people. So
Yeah.
I have it on an external hard drive. I've been transferring it from hard drive to hard drive for 2 decades now.
Hmm.
So I'm
Ooh.
so
Uh,
my goal is to so when people that are still learning and that want to learn more and that are willing to read, then they can look into the database and they can get it. So for the three of you here, you can reach
hmm
out to me and we can talk and like exchange numbers and stuff. So I don't want to like
Yeah.
leave. Yeah, I don't want you leaving your address, even in private message on here.
Okay.
Um, but like you guys can get a hold of me if you guys want a copy of all of the books, all of the videos and stuff like that. Then you can have it as well.
Okay.
That is so generous of
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
really, man.
Well,
Thank you.
that is a good read. That was one of the first books I read out of here was that interview with an
Hmm
alien. Very
It
good
Wow.
just
read.
came out at me. I just immediately I thought, oh my goodness, what?
Yeah. I mean, and it has all the big names in here as far as their books. Almost anybody you can think of, um, including I think there's the Cunningham books when it comes to like herbs and magic and this and that. I mean,
Right.
it's everything. It's everything. This is
Oh,
I
See, he's
Yeah,
got everything.
I've been really
Multidimensional.
focusing on my diet and what I've been intaking.
yeah.
I'm on a journey. I'm at 100. I lost 100 pounds in less than a year, and I'm really fighting all of those urges. But I'm telling you, as I've cleaned up my diet, I am just like I'm on a rocket ship as far as opening up my enlightenment. And even the fasting I'm able to do. I could do up to 72 hours fasting, no problem now.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I won't get lightheaded, anything. I used to. I mean, once I got off of the sugars and the processed foods, um, I would get like low blood sugar attacks and stuff like that. And I
Mhm.
haven't gotten one of those in almost a year now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
That's so good you reversed that. That's
Yeah,
really good
really.
on you.
Yeah.
Really good.
Almost anything is reversible. Almost anything. You have to know what to use to reverse it. That's it.
I
Yeah,
agree with that.
basically,
I
yeah.
agree with that. Knowledge is power, right? As they
Yep.
say. That's a
Yeah,
huge
and
one.
we have the power to manifest within ourselves. Grace, I mean, you just recently, listen, whether it was collective consciousness, whether it was your own will, whether it was ET interference, whatever it was, doesn't matter. The
Hmm.
fact is that you manifested a healing.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that
That's it.
isn't the first time in my life I've experienced something like that. I just feel like we have magic in us, like
Hmm.
however you want to use that terminology, whatever word you want to describe
Yeah.
that terminology. I just feel like I found that out when I was very young. I understood the
Hmm.
importance of the power of just of our bodies and the ability
Yeah.
we have. We don't have to accept what we are handed. There may be some
Right.
cards that we are handed, that we say, oh, we're handed this what is that we're dealt this hand, and we don't
They
really
have
know
the
what to
cards, the
do with
Delta
it.
cards.
And
Yeah.
so I feel like, no, I'm a perfect example of that because I have quite the
Yeah, you really are.
backstory. I have quite the backstory. I mean, that's not even the half of it. But it's I actually started writing a book. I'm co-authoring a book with someone right now, but it's on the history of iconography. And my my artwork is iconographic, which was originally based in the Byzantine teachings, the Byzantine art. But
Wait
then
a second. I don't need to cut you off, but I'm actually a descendant of the Byzantine Empire.
I believe it. Do you have Greek in you?
Actually, from the Turkish Italian side over
Okay,
there.
okay. Well,
Really?
I just feel like I've gone back so many lifetimes, and for someone like me in this generation, in this century, to like be doing something like that. I mean, I grind my own pigment to make paint. I harvest rock. I just went rock hunting today, and I grind
Hmm.
the rock and make my own paint. But I feel like there's so much more working inside of me that I am a knowledge seeker, though, bottom line, and so I will, if I can't figure it out for myself, I'll seek out the data in some shape or form, whether it's through reading, some form of
Yeah.
education, or talking to others. Listen, I think I have a message right now for everyone: is listen to what people have to say, because there are really
Yeah.
clues hidden in things people say that
Hmm.
will just really change your life, And, we have the ability to, and everyone knows this. I mean, it's such a huge buzzword right now, knowing how to manifest. But I
Hmm.
mean, and no doubt, you can create your own reality. It's just out of the page of Abraham Hicks. You can create your own reality. But now we have so much more know-how, and we're jumping timelines. We're setting new templates. We're all capable of making major, major changes, and not just. And some years ago, it was like, oh my gosh, it would take forever, but now it's like in a minutes.
Yeah.
When you ask for
Yeah.
something, and it just boom, it's there. It's like it drops out of the sky.
Well, speaking of dropping out of the sky, we're gonna, you know where I'm going with this.
Well, I have
But
one
we'll
more
let
before
wisdom.
you go though. There was a woman this morning, right? I was thinking about her. I said, okay, I'm gonna call her today. I laid down on the couch, started a show, fell asleep, woke up to her calling me, and I thought to myself, did I text her? I haven't talked to her in months, and I was like, I'm gonna call her today. Fell asleep, and when I woke up, she was calling.
It's
Hmm.
it's incredible. And I wanted to just quickly finish my point about earlier about, like, okay, so I started working in the Byzantine, iconography, but it catapulted me into like, I've always been a seeker of knowledge, and always, but I needed to discipline myself because I was everywhere. I was bouncing off the walls. Like, there was no real focus. So the art study and the historical study and all the research and stuff I started to do, and my education, I started to calm down, and I was able to centrally focus. And then I was able to open up to other understandings of many, many, many other topics and faiths and thought concepts. So it is it's been a fabulous journey. This has been the best, though. This is so much fun.
Hmm.
i'm so glad
Well,
I'm so glad to be here. This is so great.
I'm glad all of you were here. It's a magical night. It was we really got deep into things regarding the cosmic galactic areas, and about really at the beginning how people, if they want to be ready for being elevated to the point when contact happens soon, the whole thing goes back to the early part of the show about not going all over the web to find the truth, going within yourself to find the truth. Wisdom Keeper's been doing that for eons of time. I've been doing that. When I was a baby, I didn't know. I mean, I was awakened, but I didn't wasn't able to speak English or say this is who I am. But when I became an adult, I was able to search the truth and found out everything I believed in on this earth was a lie. Once I woke up, I knew who I was. You couldn't tell me to believe this book or that book or this website or that website, because I get my stuff from source. When you get the stuff from source, you don't need anybody's website. The source is the creator. The creator gives you the information. The information is disseminated throughout the universe, but you have to tap into it. And that means meditation, connection. And if you do that, everybody, it will make your life so much better. And I think each person here, we all have that synergy, that energy, that connection, because we are caring about the world. That there's histories here. There's things that James read about from that book about the Venusians, the Palladians, and these things, we learn from these things, the ancient history, the fact that the Palladians had been here before and lived here. Let's face it, the planet's billions of years old. We only know what we know in current history about our own current history. We don't know about the galactic history of this planet. It's billions of years old. So the planet started billions of years old, and there's nobody here except a bunch of Romans fighting and killing each other. That's the history we're told. But the history is so much more dynamic, so much more interesting than what we're told. We're given limited knowledge from limited consciousness from people that in the Roman days gave us information based on their limited thinking capabilities. But we know that the space people were here during the Roman Empire, before the Roman Empire, billions of years before that, Lemuria, Atlantis, all these things, if we really focus on things like the Agartha Network, the Inner Earth, the people that are living there now. The surface powers that be they know about the Inner Earth. They got to know about it. They don't want to talk about it because if they have to reveal that we aren't the first ones in here, that there are people living in our Earth that are more advanced, more spiritual than we are, it ruins their whole control of the planet. And they still think they control the planet, yet they control nothing. It's an illusion in their fantasies of what they think. It's an illusion. So
Remember,
I want to
guys,
thank everybody. I want to thank
evil.
everybody for being here. And I want people to have their last words. I also want people, before they go, we have 163 people on here, and I thank you for coming. Please go to my Venmo account, CmdrAleon 2022 tonight. I use Venmo as my cash app. Please go, tap on it, make a donation. I don't care what it is, but do it if you can, unconditionally. If you're on this here and you use the invisible money called TikTok coins, do some gifting now while we have our final comments. Make some gifts to my show for what I'm doing here. We appreciate it. And we thank you all for the gifts you've given tonight. And those who have not given any gifts and have TikTok ability to do gifts, please show us some love that way. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to pass it over to Wisdom Keeper. We're going to go to Skip to Grace and then James.
I just want to say real quick to everyone that's listening, I want you to give it a chance to believe in yourself. And I mean, and I don't mean like your human self. I mean that thing that's inside that's speaking through this flesh suit. I want you to give that a chance to understand what you really are beyond your humanness. We're not just human. That's one of the biggest lies that's ever been told, is that you're just human. Believe in yourself.
And Grace?
First of all, I'm so inspired by everyone here, and I am honored, and I wanted to say thank you because you have enriched my life. And I want everyone, and I agree with what Wisdom Keeper said about believing in yourself, and you are first, you come first before anything, and then everyone can come, and then you can serve. So believe in yourself, have faith. You have the magic and the power to make change in your life, and you're all loved.
Well said. And James, my co-host, you still
I
there?
can't. I'm not even going to try to follow that up. That was perfectly said. That's exactly what we need to hear, and that's why we're all here together, is to learn, to love, fellowship. Fellowship is important, guys. And like I said, don't just do the fellowship here online. Do fellowship in your personal lives. Be social. Put yourself out there. Show people your love and light, because we need to change the world, and it starts with us. And
Yes,
remember,
well said.
evil and negativity are only allowed in your presence in the absence of love and light. So if you've got evil or negativity or anything bad juju going on, you better plug that light in.
Yeah, plug it in and kick out that negativity out into the universe and let it go. Very well said. I want to thank everybody for being here. This show is recorded. It's not recorded now. It is being recorded. We're live. It will be on TikTok, not on TikTok. It'll be on YouTube. It's already here. We're going to have it on YouTube by tomorrow. And it'll also be on Facebook. A lot of people on Facebook that don't have TikTok will be able to watch it there. Stay tuned for another edition of Encounters tomorrow night. Maybe tomorrow morning during the day we might come on with a morning edition. I did that this morning, so we'll see. But anyway, please go to my Venmo at CmdrAleon 2022 on my profile page, which is that little round thing that says Commander. Press that, you'll see the link to the Venmo, and please make a Cash App donation there. If you have coins or TikTok money, please make a TikTok donation here by pressing anything on TikTok on the gift area that you see that you think you can do. We appreciate it. Again, Wisdom Keeper, thank you, James. Grace, we'll see you soon. Everybody, we love you. And thank you. You've been a great audience. This has been Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. And also, don't forget, watch the video. I posted it on TikTok of the picture of the top secret base we have on the moon. You're going to be blown away. Please let people know about it. I have a channel, Astro Command Spaceship News. It's on there. If you got YouTube, you're going to see top secret photos, or at least one major photo of lunar base operational structures on the moon. We have people in those structures from Earth, and they are living in those structures right now on the moon. These are people with high security levels that are there for specific purposes. So please check that out. Thanks again for watching the show, people. Have a great night, and be all that you can be and help others. And remember, contact is disclosure here on Encounters. Take care.